Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I wanted to focus on the Dead City trailer, and I actually wanted to focus on the new villain that I believe goes by the name the Croat. I could be saying that wrong. It's like Croat, the Croat. I have no idea. In the trailer, I believe they pronounce it the Croat, so I think that's how you say it. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with that for now. But yeah, is he a former savior? Who is this new villain, right? So I do want to talk about this character because he's a pretty big character here. He's a big villain here in this show, and we learn quite a bit about him, I'd say, in this trailer here. So let's get into this here. So before going any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. This show is premiering in like 4 weeks or something like that, 4.5 weeks. So we have Fear the Walking Dead that I'm reviewing right now, and episode 1 definitely was a solid episode. So we'll have something to watch, up until this show premieres. But man, the excitement for this show right now is just unbelievable. And I even said that yesterday. I posted a tweet about that actually. I said that it's really amazing to see the fact that so many people are just so excited about this in general. And that's the thing too, like yesterday I saw so many comments of people saying that they are way more excited for Dead City than they are for the other spin-offs. And that is just, that's good to hear, because this show is looking really awesome. I was not expecting everything that we saw. Like there's certain elements to it where I was like, well, I was expecting that. I'm happy that they're delivering on that part of it, but like the new walkers and stuff like that, I was not expecting that. I thought that, for Dead City, the walkers were just basically going to be normal zombies. So yeah, this show's definitely looking really great, and I can't wait to watch it. So definitely hit subscribe if you want to get all my content, all my breakdowns, my reviews, and everything like that. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, definitely go do so. My channel is Appetite for the Dead. I will be live there. I'm hoping later on today I'm going to be live streaming something, and I would like to talk about Fear the Walking Dead and also break down this trailer. I wasn't live yesterday because, as some of you guys likely know, like my living situation has sort of changed quite a bit in terms of, well, I'm a single father now of 3, right? And my kids will go see their mom like on the weekend. So yesterday my son ended up wanting to come back home to see me. So, so I should be able to stream later on today. If not later on today, definitely tomorrow for sure. But yeah, expect some streams breaking down the episodes and also talking about the trailer and stuff like that this weekend. I would like to get some Zelda Tears of the Kingdom gameplay in there. I think that'd be really awesome. But anyways, who is the Croat, and is he a former savior? That's basically, that's in the title of this video. My theory right now, and I've been seeing this theory out there by a lot of you guys as well. It's not necessarily my theory. I've seen this idea out there online, and I was like, oh, I really like that idea. I really wonder if that could be the case. Because honestly, I like having the new villain here be a former savior, I think is such an organic way in telling the story. It naturally really explains itself because there's so much history there. We know so much about Negan. We got that episode, a couple years back called Here's Negan. We learned a lot about his backstory there. There's still a huge part in the story that we don't know though. Like we don't know how he became the leader of the Saviors, the people he met there. Like there's a lot of stuff there that we still don't know too much about, right? And I think the reason why we didn't get a lot of that is because they're starting to get into that right now. In the trailer, Maggie says to Negan, the man who took Herschel, you know him. So I think right there, that's a lot of proof. Maybe they knew each other beforehand, right? Maybe he was the former leader of the Saviors, right? And then Negan took over and, the Croat just, he's always wanted revenge for that. And that's where you sort of get into some of the plot here for the episode, because obviously not the episode, but the show. The show begins with the Croat taking Herschel from Maggie. And it seems like it was very much planned. Like, Maggie knew of the Croat, like she knew that he was somebody that Negan once knew, like she might know a little bit more of that backstory there. And I think that's likely what the Croat planned here. I think he planned to take Herschel. Maggie would be like obviously freaking out, and then she would be wanting to try and in some way get to him, and she probably knew that he would ask Negan for help, and that they would probably go to the island, Manhattan, and then the Croat can actually confront Negan, and then, I don't know what's going to happen at that point there. Maybe, like, kill him, arrest him. I have no idea what his overall plan is there, but it looks like there was a lot of planning here, and I think it makes a lot of sense based off of the fact that Herschel is still alive, right? Like, Herschel would have been dead if this was just like a random thing that was happening, and I don't think there's any motivation in New Babylon, which is the new community here in Manhattan, I don't think there's any motivation here in like the reasoning for them taking Herschel. You know, it's not like it's Padre where they were taking a bunch of like kids and children from around the area to sort of train them to become, you know, new leaders and, you know, become like fighters and stuff like that. Like there was nothing like that. Based off of this trailer here, it really seems like Herschel was taken like specifically so that Maggie would ask Negan for help. And then, yeah, the Croat would just get his revenge in that way. Now, we do see him actually talking to some woman here. I'm not entirely sure of her name, but I'm wondering if she's like a co-leader of sorts, you know, of this place. He does say that Negan is on the island, and so obviously he gets word that maybe his plan is actually working here, and I feel like at this point now, like he's going to be trying tirelessly to get him, right? And there's also been some stuff that I've seen online. I've seen Lauren Cohen do some interviews and stuff where it seems like Negan in general is a wanted man, and it has nothing to do necessarily with just, you know, or it's not localized to like Manhattan or anything like that. It seems like there's people out there looking for him in general. Again, Negan's living situation has changed quite a bit, and I'm going to be doing a video talking about that probably tomorrow, where Jeffrey Dean Morgan did actually, you know, he talked about the fact that, well, you know, Negan is not necessarily around his family right now, so some stuff has happened, right? And Negan is really not in a good place right now. He's in a really bad place and likely doesn't really have anywhere to live or anything like that. And now there's people going after him. And so I think Maggie offers help. If she can get Herschel back, then she'll also not turn him in kind of thing. And I think that's how the two end up working together. And so it's awesome understanding how this story is working out, because I had so many questions about this. I had no idea why they took Herschel specifically. I thought it was just very random. And then something just happened later on where, you know, the Croat was like, oh, here's Negan. I had no idea I'd see him again. And then, you know, another plot would sort of begin from there. But then it made no sense because I was like, well, no, because Armstrong, like Marshall Armstrong, he has that wanted poster of Negan, right? And so I'm like, they're specifically wanting him. Like, he has that wanted poster of Negan, right? So they specifically are going out there to try and find him. So now that we have all the dots connected here, it makes a lot more sense. It makes perfect sense as to why Maggie and Negan are working together, because it really didn't for a bit. People criticized the fact that they would actually even be together and that they would even be in a spin-off together. Well, now looking at the story, it makes perfect sense. And I knew they were going to explain it. Like, I knew there was going to be something there, because like it doesn't make any sense to have them together, both of them working together in that way. There was going to be something that had those two characters together. There was going to be something that had those two characters together. And that's the thing, those two characters are a lot of fun together. I like seeing those two characters together. Just the history there, you know, I just wish that they would focus a little bit more on some of the Savior stuff and focus more on that storyline, because, you know, in the final season of The Walking Dead, they didn't really necessarily get into it a lot. It was sort of a storyline in like the first 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes of season 11. And then we got, you know, they would touch on it a little bit throughout, but there wasn't really a lot there. And so now they're actually getting into it here. And that's the thing, you know, this whole storyline here really does kind of feel like an All Out War Part 3. I don't want to say All Out War because it's not necessarily a war, but it does feel like this extension to All Out War Part 2, right? And it's kind of interesting. In the trailer, some of the new people that Maggie and Negan end up with, one person anyways says that the Croat makes sure that you don't leave the island once you arrive, or something like that. And I do like that. Like, you know, it's not necessarily that the zombies there are just really like messed up and they're advanced and all of that. It is just sort of like he really has this island on lockdown. So he's taken a lot of what he learned, I'm guessing, from Negan and the Saviors and stuff, at least if the theory ends up being right. Like, he's taken a lot of the lessons he learned there and is really like, yeah, just putting it to use here. And I'm excited for this villain. I can't wait to learn a little bit more of the backstory here. And the reason why I'm excited for this villain is it really is, again, like I was saying before, this does feel like an extension to All Out War. And I'm excited to sort of add on to that type of storytelling, right? Because when I look at the last few arcs of The Walking Dead and I focus really on like the stuff that was really exciting, the stuff that I really liked, you know, the Savior arc, I don't like how it was adapted on TV. Just story-wise, you know, there's certain elements to it where I do like the story, but I think the way it was told, you know, the pacing of the story and how much it was stretched out, I'm not a fan of that. The Whisperer arc was also really cool, but the issue with the Whisperer arc is that the only character we got out of it was Lydia. And Lydia is, you know, she's not in any of the spinoffs or anything like that. So this is basically kind of, that's just it, right? Like, I don't know if we're going to see the Whisperers ever again. I mean, maybe at some point in the future or what. That's the thing. I don't even know if we'll ever see the Whisperers again in that sense. Like, it just seems like a group that was sort of, that was it, you know? And the Commonwealth, well, I mean, we do have the Commonwealth, but the main issue there is mostly just the Milton family. So are we ever going to see Pamela Milton again? I imagine we could see her again if they ever were to do a show at some point in the future. There could be an episode or so where we see her in her cell or something like that. Like, there could be something like that. But the Savior arc really is one of the only arcs where we do have a lot of characters still sort of alive from that arc, and there's still so much trauma, you know, from that arc, and it still is sort of alive to this day. So to kind of see characters like Maggie and Negan deal with some of that stuff and explore some of that on the show, I think is really cool. Because you also have characters like Dwight and Sherry as well, right? And I think, you know, with the Croat, if he is a former savior, and again, this is all just sort of a theory, but if he is a former savior, it just makes so much more sense to have Dwight and Sherry go to Dead City for season 2 as soon as Fear the Walking Dead is done, which, I mean, they're already done filming that show, right? So, or I'm pretty sure anyways. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're done. So it just makes so much more sense. Like, it just all fits in perfectly. So I'm excited for this. I really can't wait. So definitely post your thoughts down below. Do you think the Croat is a former savior? Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.